everyone, it's Nicole, and today is Watercolor Wednesday. And today, what we're going to be playing with is IZink, and they're like fluid pigments basically, and they're rich in colors. There's quite a few different colors, and the one that I'm using right now is turquoise. And I just put drops of pigment ink on my watercolor paper, and mine is like a paper pad, and then they're all attached together, and then you can separate them. I'm just adding drops of the inks, and then I'm adding water, and then I'm just smooshing it on the background, and I'm just creating my own background. And then to create like a two-tone effect, there's also a white color in this pigment ink, and I'm going to add some of this turquoise with the white, and I'm going to get another color of that turquoise but a lighter color, and you're going to see me do that in a little bit. And I'm going to scrap one photo today, or no, actually it's 3 photos, and one of them, it's a picture that I took of something that someone that I work with, she's not the one that wrote it, but she posted it, and it's about what I do for a living. I've had many people over the last few years always say, like, what do you do? And because they know I do shift work and that kind of stuff. And even since the last time I've talked about it, there's still some people that have asked, because I get new people every day. So I thought I would do a layout about what I do, and then I'm going to make it so that it's available. So if people want to know what I do, it's going to be in the description below, on each video, and then also on my website. And if you've seen my website lately, it's a brand new website, and it's NicoleJones911.com. And my husband did a really great job. It's got a little ambulance on one side, and then the headset on the other side, and it's the storyteller, and then it just says helping save lives by day and memories by night. And that's how I feel. My day job, if you want to call it, is a dispatcher. But before I go on to that, I just want to say I added that pigment with white, and then I added a different tone of teal. Now I went to get some distress daubers in the evergreen bow, and I slammed it on the page, and it just makes this water splatter, and I really like that. And now I'm just drying it, and then I'll start building the layout with the Simple Stories collection. And I thought it was perfect for this. So I just wanted to read to you what this girl posted, and she found this somewhere on the internet. I'm not really sure where, but I just really really spoke to me when I read it. It says, it starts, I am a 911 dispatcher. I am a 911 dispatcher. I am the one who responds when you call out for help. I'm the one who walks with you hand in hand and step by step during the most frightening events in your life, but you'll probably never meet me. I deliver babies, I administer CPR, I shield people from violence, I put out fires, I catch criminals, I save lives. And I do it all without even leaving my station. I am there for you. I became a 911 dispatcher to help. Every caller is a member of my community, a mother, a husband, a daughter, a brother, a friend, reaching out to me for help, to me. So I help them. I help them because I care. Sure, the days are long and the calls are stressful. I wouldn't be human if the constant stream of tragedies didn't affect me, and they do affect me, but I still care. I care so much that I have nightmares about the screams. I care so much that I will never forget the fear, the panic, the pain in people's voices. I care so much that when I get home, I can't help but cry over the suffering in the world and my helplessness to stop it. Except that I'm not helpless. I am a 911 dispatcher. I am strong. I am the refuge people fly to when they are in danger. I am the fortress holding back the darkness. I am the guardian angel who guides people through catastrophe unseen. I'm a 911 dispatcher, and I am proud. I know what it is to hear the last seconds of someone's life and be utterly devastated, but still have to pull myself together to help the next caller perform CPR on his unconscious wife. I know what it is to be exhausted to the core from a long night shift, but somehow after helping someone deliver a baby and hearing those tiny lungs let out their first cries, feeling completely energized again. I also know what it is to be ignored by the public and even to be shouted at, cursed at, and hung up on by callers. I know what it is to watch the evening news anchor passing judgment on the one time the one dispatcher got it wrong and never mentioning the hundreds, the thousands of times we all got it right. I know what it is to be underpaid, overworked, understaffed, and overstressed. I've seen coworkers leave because it was all too much. The strain, the pain, the lack of understanding. I've seen the physical symptoms that start manifesting themselves: insomnia, stomach issues, headaches, right alongside the emotional symptoms: irritability, panic attacks, emotional outbursts. I've seen people affected by PTSD from traumatic calls. I don't ask to be appreciated in any great way. I just want to do my job like anyone else, but a little understanding would mean so much. I am proud, but I am only human. I want to help. I want to help you. I'm a 911 dispatcher. And I can tell you, every one of us that read this, it was just like, it just brought tears to my eyes, because it is, all of that is so true. So I just thought I want to do a page, and that what I want to do is because I took a picture of this page of that they posted, but it's really small in the picture, so I want to post it on the others, like have another page, and I want to type it out and put it into journaling strips. So I'll be doing that page probably in the next, I don't know, few weeks or so. And I just wanted it in my books, because I did a page about maybe a couple years ago, but I didn't go, into a lot of details. So to get back to the page, and then I'll come back to that. I took out a template with hearts on it. I took out some white paints from Liquitex, white paint from Liquitex, and I took a sponge dauber. I added some white hearts to the background. Then I took some modeling paste, and I added that to the background. Okay, so this is several hours later. I thought I could do a 25-minute, video before I went to bed after a night shift. So tired, the brain just wasn't working. And so I just thought I'd stop the video and then start over once I woke up. So I'm going to be using this Simple Stories collection from Simple Stories, but it's the I Am collection. And I love that it has those teals, and there's some black, and then there's gold, and there's pink. I love the pink. It's like a coral pink, and the coral pink really matches that I Am a 911 dispatcher really well. And I took out that collection because, and this video is going to be late because I tried recording it yesterday, which is Wednesday, and it didn't work. And then I tried again this morning when I got home on Thursday morning, and I just couldn't keep my thoughts together to actually do the video. So I thought it'll be up today, but then there's going to be one today, one tomorrow, one Saturday. So it'll still be the same amount. It'll just be a little late. And okay, so I cut down the paper to about 11.5 by 11.5, and that's the watercolor paper. And I love how the tones of that teal, like in person, there's dark teal from the IZinks, the pigment ink, in the turquoise, and then I mixed it with white paint, or the white jasmine color, and it made a lighter teal. And then I used the evergreen bow and the dauber, and I smashed, and it made some splatter, almost like splatters on the page. And now I'm trying to figure out if I want to mat it on black or on that pink, and I'm going to go with the black because the picture is black and white. And then it just has that little splash of pink on the top, and I love that. And then what I'm doing right now is I'm printing my photo. I took a selfie about a year ago, and I usually don't like pictures of myself, but I don't mind this one. My hair is actually straight, not puffing out, and um, it's just the right distance. My face is not right in the camera, and all this stuff. And so it's a selfie that I use quite a bit. I'm going to try and take one this year because this was, like I said, was almost a year ago. But you're going to see this picture a couple times this week because I don't know, I'm just in the mood of doing some I am videos right now. So today I'm doing with Watercolor Wednesday, I'm a 911 dispatcher, and we're going to be talking a little bit more about that. I read that quote, but I want to talk a little bit more about my experience as a 911 dispatcher. And then on Saturday, coming up Saturday, it's just Scrap Your Stash Saturday, and the Saturday one will be I Am a Survivor. And so this week is going to be really sort of a peek at Nicole Jones 911. What sort of makes me tick and what has shaped my life. And you've seen my YouTube channel take a different direction, and the reason for that. So let's start with the page, the sort of the hard, not the hard, but the different part, I guess, was the IZink and doing the background. Now it's going to be just normal stuff with inking the edges, matting the photo, adding some embellishments and all this stuff. And I'll try to cut in and kind of talk about that. The color I'm using is the Evergreen Bow. So before I was an I-1 dispatcher, I was a stay-at-home mom for 10 years. And about a year and a half before I became a dispatcher, I scrapbook, right? And there was a scrapbook store, and I was in there a lot. So much so that the owner knew me. And one day I walked in, and she said, how would you like, you get a lot of stuff, and she asked me to bring an album in, I think, and she said, I would like you to give classes here. I want to start giving classes, and I don't know anything about scrapbooking. So I started scrapbooking there. And then the store closed a few years later, and I was still there, and then I ended up working for her husband because he had like his own company, so I'd work 1 day a week. So, but all of this was really part-time. I was doing like maybe 15, 20 hours a week. And so anyway, the store closed, and they were moving, so I wasn't going to be working for the husband anymore. And my stepmother worked for the dispatch in Bathurst, the police station. And she said, Nicole, the ambulance dispatch is in Moncton, and you would be a perfect fit. You need to apply. So I filled out an application, everything, and this was, going to be, well, they didn't hire full time, but anyway, my husband hit send because I had filled everything in, but that in your gut, you don't know if you want to do it. Anyway, he hit send, so off it went. Within a few hours, I got a email back saying we want you to come in and do a critical test or whatever. So I did that. Anyway, I ended up getting the job. I applied for it in October. I did the interview and everything, and then I got the job in February. I started in February, the training, which was gruesome, by the way. I went to university for 4 years, and this was harder because it's condensed, right? Everything is condensed because you have to do everything in a shorter period of time. And then once you passed the written part, then you have to go on the floor. And once you're on the floor, then you're still not totally hired because you have to pass on the floor, because just because you're good on paper doesn't mean that you'll be able to do the thing on the phone. So you're with a trainer for a while on the phone. And then I passed, I did that. So that was 9 years ago. It'll be 9 years in February. And when I started my job, I said that the minute that I don't care about the people, then not the people, but I just don't have the, because if I become hard, that's what I want to say. If I become hard and I don't feel, then it means that I've been here too long and I need to move on. And let me say, I am not at that point. I still care. Things still affect me a lot. And I love my job. Um, our shifts are 2 days on, 2 days off. 2 days, 2 nights for 5 days off, which sounds like a lot of days off, but believe me, you sleep a lot of that, especially when you've been doing that for 9 years, because it's build up. And I've been doing a lot of night shifts, and that's another story, but I do mostly night shifts instead of day shifts. And so, yes, my days off, I do a lot of sleeping because I'm not young. I'm 49 years old, and next year I'm going to be 50. So, 10 years ago or 15 years ago, I started scrapbooking, and I knew back then that I wanted to do that as a job. I started my own business, started teaching classes, and I live out in the middle of the boonies, so it was not somewhere where I could open a store. So I kind of was a traveling store, which wasn't very effective. Ended up hurting my back, and anyway, so that didn't work. I became a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Did that for 5.5 years, 6 years, which I love Stampin' Up! But my issue was I love more than Stampin' Up! I loved everything else. And with Stampin' Up!, I don't know if they've changed, but back then you could only do Stampin' Up!. You could not promote anything else. And that I just couldn't do that. And so I let go of Stampin' Up!, still buy the stuff because I love it, but it just wasn't something that I only wanted to do exclusively. Then I thought, online, I mean, the world is open to you, but around here, I am, people know me and stuff, but online, nobody knew me. So I started a YouTube channel. And, if you see my video, you get 1 like and no comments. That's pretty much, my son was teasing me and telling me that, oh, you're going to get 1 likes and no comments. And that's how I felt too. And, it went fairly quickly, like I knew it was going to take some time and sort of build an online community, because if you're with me, you know that the Nicole Jones 911 Facebook group, a lot of people are on that, and we share stuff, and then I start, about a month ago, I started offering classes, which I wanted to do about a year ago, but for health reasons I couldn't. And so now I've started giving classes, and that's sort of going to be my next phase in life. I'm still going to do dispatching for a while. One, because I love it and I can't see just stopping. But I know deep down that I can't keep that up for much longer. I'm going to be 50 years old next year, and I can feel some of the stuff that I said at the beginning. I'm feeling it. So I sort of need it, but I feel like I'm too young to retire. Do you know what I mean? So this is going to sort of the next phase in my life, and I'm embracing it, and I love YouTube, and I'm not going to stop YouTube. I'm still going to do some free stuff on YouTube, and free videos on YouTube. This is just on top of that, and I have in my brain, I have all kinds of plans, so be watching for all kinds of new stuff coming up. But back, and this is all to say, it is kind of relating to my job, because of the amount of hours that we put in, and the long night shifts and the stress. I know it's something that I can't do for much longer. And really, who's going to hire a 50-year-old, right? So I kind of had to kind of think of, sort of outside the box, what could I do next? And, I love scrapbooking. I taught scrapbooking classes for years and years and years on my own. I think it was 10 years that I had my own business. And altogether between, the store that I had, the on-the-go store, and then the Stampin' Up, it was about 10 years. Plus I did classes in a scrapbooking store and all that stuff. So anyway, so I feel like this is the next phase. But back to dispatching, what we do. So I told you a little bit about, how we get trained and stuff. And then when you dial 911, it goes to a police station. And they say, in Canada anyway, it goes to a police station and they say if do you want police, fire, or ambulance? And when they say ambulance, it comes to us. And when you first start, you're a call taker, so you talk to the public and you help them till the ambulance arrives. Now, if you've been there for a while, then you become a dispatcher, and we have 4 regions, and you get trained for each region one at a time. And some regions are busier than others, and so they, you go from region to region to region. Now, I've been there 9 years. I'm totally trained for all the regions, and I was actually a trainer for almost 7 years, and it was voluntary. I just didn't feel that I could do it anymore. It is very stressful to train someone that is new because they're very nervous, and you're responsible for them and everything. And then you help. So the call taker, you help the person on the phone. The dispatcher, you talk directly with the paramedics and you let them know when there's calls. And then what I'll do is I'll link a video that my work did about how it works, and I'll put it in the description below. And so that's in a nutshell, what we do. You're either a call taker or a dispatcher. And I found by putting the globe there, it was perfect because our job is to watch the map of our entire province. We do the entire province of New Brunswick, and we make sure that, everything goes well, kind of thing. And wow, the video's coming up to an end, and I used everything that I use on this page is from the Simple Stories collection. I didn't talk too much about the page, so if you have any questions, please put them down below. And I'm going to add some splatters again, and that's it. The page is done. So thank you so much for watching. Bye.